Hello and welcome to the Cryptonaut podcast. My name is Mark Storrs, and I'm joined by Chris Carnicelli.
Hi.
Robert Thomas Morphy II is also here with us.
Heidi-ho.
Thank you for joining us, good sir.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Shit, you're just looking at me dead up like I didn't realize I was going to. I mean, is it rare that I join you? Wow. Is this a special occasion?
Apparently, you get thanked for being here.
Yeah,
I'm
no
just a
shit.
piece of
I'm
shit.
so sorry. Yeah.
Fucking piece of shit sitting here.
Burglar over here
No,
gets
it's all right.
nothing. No, you guys are welcome and bask in my glory.
Yeah.
Special guest Chris Carnicelli.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
see,
I'm
that's
just
where
going to
it's
shit my
coming
pants, and you're going to have to deal with it.
Wow.
Are you pants shitting
Yep,
again?
right
You
now.
are. Oh, okay, good. Did you bring?
Did you hear it?
Did you bring?
Shit bottle.
Did you bring the shit cup?
It's right here.
Oh, good. There's
As soon
a
as
shit
I
cup.
finish this.
Nice.
Perfect.
Keeping
Excellent.
it brown.
All right. Well, Patreon, Robert. We offer it. People sign up. Let's thank those people.
Fuck yes.
Let's do it.
Every week, I just delight in you guys. Thank you. Beginning with Jason Hackman,
Hell yeah, Jason.
James McHugh,
What up, James?
Bob Smith,
Bob.
Jonas Evenson,
Hell yeah, Jonas.
Android Green,
I love it.
2 3s,
I love it.
Matthias T,
Dope. Thank you, Matthias.
Eric,
What up, Eric?
McKenna Trixio,
Thank you so much, McKenna.
Rathalos 394,
Love the name. Thank you so much, 394.
Tara Lorraine Lounsbury, our buddy Tara.
Oh, Tara, what up?
Oh, I just
shit.
spoke to her the other
Dang.
day, virtually online, but yeah. Oh,
Dope. Well,
she's awesome.
thank you so
Used
much.
to watch Lone Wolf and Cub back in the day. I watched her choke out our buddy Mike D
Yeah.
with the leg move
That was at
rendered
Zach's,
him
right?
unconscious. Yeah, it was at a party, and he wanted to Indian
Yeah.
leg wrestle. Somehow it got out of hand, and she fucking choked him unconscious.
Holy shit,
the
really?
co-founder of
Why were we
American
all
Monsters
there?
with us. Yeah.
I remember her, Mike D. Angler.
Yep. I don't think it
Think
was one of the
Jay, maybe?
super rockinest parties, or maybe it was like before
There was
the
like,
party.
there's a leg wrestling tournament, and then all of a sudden she choked him out. I'm like, what is happening?
Yeah, it was bizarre.
Did she just catch him with the clinch with the legs and just nighty-night Mike?
She
No,
was
we're standing up. I think she just got
Yeah,
him from behind.
she got
and then
wily,
he went
man.
down.
By leg wrestling?
No,
No,
it wasn't.
this
with
was
her-
after.
This was after.
Oh,
this was a
Christ,
post
dude.
thing.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah, we should have elaborated.
Yeah, no, that was done. We were all standing, and all of a sudden, she just got him.
It was all I could do
From
not to
behind.
applaud. Not that I didn't feel bad for Mike, but I mean, she's a tiny
Like
marvel.
She came in like that and just fucking
Yeah,
outed him?
just ended it.
Wow, what up?
Yep.
Damn.
She's
All
a
right,
badass,
well,
and she's awesome, and I miss
Thank
her.
you.
And thank you for signing on, Tara.
there you go. Good job choking,
Don't
folks.
choke us out.
Yeah, please don't. I know.
No.
Thanks for Patreon. Don't
Yeah,
choke us up.
please no chokes.
Joseph Burrington.
Hell yeah, Joseph. Thank you.
Whittier Frog.
I love it. Whittier Frog.
Max Jokas.
Hell yeah, Max.
Michael Whedon. I almost said Weeder. Wiedenhoff.
Thank you, Michael. All right,
Nice.
there it is. Thank you all for your Patreon support. Patreon.com/Cryptonaut Podcast. Friday, May 13th. Boys, the votes are in.
The votes are in.
The votes are in.
Okay.
We are watching Friday the 13th, part 1 with the good folks.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
One.
part 1 won out.
So
yeah.
they
like
went.
the
They went for
classics.
quality.
They went
okay.
for no Jason. Yeah. Well,
So it's not going
smidge Jason.
It's not going to be a hate fest or an '80s pop fest. It's going to be a.
We'll
but it's
see.
going to be. I'm not saying it won't be fun, but I mean that is probably arguably the best of the movies.
Out of all the-
certainly the most
Well,
violent.
yeah.
because it comes
Yeah.
from that early '80s,
Oh, yeah.
'70s trend of Tom Savini, who of course did the effects.
Yeah.
Extreme gore.
Yeah, for
So,
sure.
and I haven't seen that movie in a really long time.
Yeah,
so
me
this
either.
should be fun.
No, I'm super stoked to check it out. But yeah, there will be no Jason, but that's okay because you get a little glimpse of the Jason. Everybody
Little smidge.
Ari there in the very end.
Spoilers.
There. So
Let's
go.
stop. There's going to be some people who haven't seen it yet.
I mean, if you haven't
Jack.
seen it now, oh, sorry.
Jesus criminy.
All right, okay. Again, I'm sorry to everyone. I'm the problem. I'm sorry.
I mean, stop being the problem. How about that's the solution?
Wow.
Dear Mark, be the solution.
Jesus
There it is.
Christ. Oh, that's the next shirt's coming.
Dear Mark, be
I would actually wear that.
Mark, be the solution. 2024, dear Mark. Alrighty, Midnight Menagerie, The Bedroom Beasts.
Oh, yeah.
This is now, we just got this story, so I'm not quite sure what's happening with this. But when I saw this email, I was like, all right, this is going to be pretty fucking dope. So without further ado, I will get started here with 4 decades. Children across the globe have come forward claiming to have encounters with anomalous animalistic entities, which would seem more at home in sub-Saharan Africa than in the kids' bedrooms they currently occupy. Holy shit, Rob, you blew my tits off.
That's making statements there.
There's a
It is.
lot.
There
look,
is.
Look at these tits. They're gone. They're
I'm
gone.
not looking at
Tit
them.
removal.
Chris, eyes on my tits. Look at them. They're gone.
Can't find them.
Well, then they're not there. Don't say eyes on my tits.
Look
if they're
at
not there.
look at the wounds where they were.
Eyes on my former tits.
It's like eyes without a face, but eyes on my former tits. I like it. It's sweet. All right, Robert. I don't know where the story's going, but I am fucking super excited. About
It's going into some interesting places, but I got to tell a little tale before we begin.
Oh, what do you got?
As I was writing this story, my internet inexplicably starts getting shady as fuck. Like it fades in and out. It finally comes in just a smidge, so I try to send the email that I normally send you guys, late for the pod as usual, to read the story. It won't work. So I'm looking around everywhere for a fucking thumb drive. Finally dig one out of like this drawer, put it in, boop, got it all, set it on the corner of my dresser right next to my wallet. And I'm getting ready to go. As I come back, wallet's there, thumb drive's gone. I cannot find this fucker.
Oh, no.
It is another blue paper Mothman scenario.
The Midnight Menagerie.
boy.
Did it take your USB drive?
I don't know.
Oh, dude.
Because I couldn't fucking find it. So then I'm panicky because I'm like, I can't send a fucking email. I don't have another one. So I find 2 more USBs. I get lucky. I get 2 flash drives. I'm excited. I put in an old one Chris gave me. Won't register on my fucking computer.
Oh, no.
It won't. It's not playing nice.
Okay.
I'm like, fuck. Double fuck. I try the next one. Won't register either.
Dude.
Take it out. Blow on it because we all know. Tech Master.
Yeah, it's a cartridge.
It's a cartridge. It's Atari.
Don't tell me that it worked.
Jam it back in. It fucking works, obviously, because we're here doing a pod.
God.
But there are nefarious forces
Okay. Trying to stop us.
working against us.
All right.
They don't want this story told. Now, the first one could be me just being a clumsy, forgetful fuckface, as I am. And I lost it.
Okay. This all starts with your dog shit internet from Spectrum.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So
Dog shit. Complete dog shit.
We have the ability to rectify that for you by getting you Verizon.
Which we will.
We will talk about that later. But yes, possibly.
But can it
evil
fend off the evil, potentially interdimensional interlopers that are working against us telling this
Verizon
truth?
probably has like some weird interdimensional firewall. That
All right.
They're like,
That could be.
We'll deal with that after the pod.
Yeah.
And not use turn of the century flash drives.
Well, that was the only choice.
they're
Dude,
like,
this is an 8 gig.
Oh my god! And it literally
fucking
is a
flash
turn
drive.
of the century
Yeah,
flash drive.
that's what
It's
I
funny.
mean.
Usually you can't say that because that's like 1800s. But oh no, this
Yeah.
is a fucking 22-year-old, 24-year-old flash drive.
well, we're gonna get Uncle Bob to get that internet working and up them thumb drives there, boys. But
This
yeah.
is not
Steam powered flash drive.
my fucking
his
steam-powered
coal-powered
flash drive.
coal-powered internet.
All right.
All right, buddy, let's do it.
All right, so we avoided blue paper protocols, and I'm really happy.
I love it.
The imagination of a child is as fertile as it is dynamic. And until a certain age, there's little difference between fantasy and the real world. Without the twin impediments of experience and expectations, kids, without even trying, know better than anyone else that reality is not rigid and impermeable, but a state of being that is malleable and in constant flux. Mysteries lie around every corner, and anything is possible. Unlike most of our animal kin, humans are not born with an instinctive need to kill or the ability to run. We are soft sacks of sloppy skin who need to be nurtured nearly every hour of the day. I'm going to shout out to Riley, my nearly 1-month-old niece, who is exactly that and adorable.
Yep.
It may be this prolonged period of helplessness and brain development that allows human children to perceive the world in a way that most adults couldn't even fathom and see things that, to most rational minds, is beyond belief. As we grow older, in what is both a curse and a blessing, the connections in our brain begin to make more permanent pathways and our perspectives of the world around us become less negotiable. We begin to discern distinct differences between what we are taught to be fact and fiction, and the more we learn, the more inflexible we become with these notions. It's a matter of survival more than anything. Our ancestors needed to have a practical appreciation of the world around them, which berries were poisonous, how to find shelter from inclement weather, how to hunt and trap prey, and just as importantly, how to avoid predators. Strangely, it is just such predators and other undeniably dangerous animals that seem to have a bizarre predilection for making nocturnal visits to children in the dead of night. These bizarre beasts come in all shapes and sizes, including those who appear to be merely costumed, and their nocturnal romps through homes and particularly bedrooms have understandably inspired both curiosity and horror in the experiencers, most of whom never forget their frightening brushes with these bestial brutes. About to get into some shit here, boys.
Uh-oh.
Our first account was published on February 3rd, 2009 on the Charles Fort Institute's forums.fortiana.org by a user named Oweny29, who, based on his spelling of the word color, would seem to hail from across the proverbial pond. We get a lot of these. A lot of these seem to be Eurocentric. Just a child when he had his run-in with the unknown, Oweny, who insists that he was not dreaming and was wide awake at the time of the incident, writes, quote, "This happened to me when I was around 5 years old. I awoke late one night for no apparent reason. I got out of bed and went into the living room. I felt the urge to approach the window. I've no idea why. I opened the curtains," end quote. It would be at that moment that Oweny would get the shock of his young life. Quote, "A man-sized lion, or more accurately, a man in a lion costume, crouched behind the curtains upon the sill. The lion jumped off the windowsill and landed in the middle of the room."
Oh,
What the fuck?
I was not expecting that. Problematic.
Oh, yeah.
Home invader dressed as a lion.
Yeah, there's a lot of layers
unless it's
to
a
that.
Thundercat.
Oh, Thundercats.
Oh, if he had said a lion-o was perched on the windowsill, then I would feel completely
I mean,
different about
they
this.
might not know who Lionel is.
Oh, that's true.
Time travel.
I mean, come on now.
Yeah.
We'll see if there's a sort of omens. I doubt it, but you don't know.
I'm keeping it open to the sort of omens.
The shocked child described the hairy home invader, stating, quote, "The lion man was notably tall and lanky. His costume was not particularly realistic, but had a very thick, shaggy mane. The fur over the body was proper lion color and velvety in texture, sort of." He added, "The lion man was very intimidating. Not because it was ferocious or anything, just because, well, it was a lion that jumped at me from behind the curtain and threw me around the room."
Whoa,
End
it
quote.
got handsy with him?
Yeah.
Oh, shit, dude.
Okay,
Oh, this is some fucking dark. This shit might get dark, boys.
It would be at that moment that things went from weird to worse. Oweny continued, quote, "It grabbed me by the arms and danced aggressively around the
what
room.
the fuck?
It swung me around for a while." The fuck is it doing? Is it like swing dancing? Is it fucking...
Well, I mean, actual swinging.
Yeah,
Like-
like or spinning? You fucking crunk?
Is this like Big Bad Voodoo Daddy when that became a thing again? And when everyone's like, hey there, fucking
yeah,
sexy cat.
the hot shit.
Yeah.
Hell's a popping, all that stuff.
Boy,
Right on.
I'm glad that's over.
All right. Swung me around for a while, then eventually stopped. Finally, it dropped me on the carpet. I was dropped on the floor as if being discarded. Not thrown exactly, just dropped. I looked up and the lion was gone. The lion never made a sound, end quote. The fuzzy, feline costumed creeper having vanished, Oweny wasted no time in sprinting back to his bedroom and hiding under the covers until dawn. Sun filling the house, Oweny cautiously made his way back to the living room where, to his relief, there were no signs of any cosplay lions. When asked if he thought he might have had a run-in with a drunken, costume-clad, creepy-as-fuck prankster, Oweny replied, quote, "I really don't think alcohol was involved, and the idea of a drunken adult seems extremely unlikely because there was only my dad around and he hardly drank at all, and definitely wasn't tall and skinny like the Lion Man was. Also, the Lion Man was totally silent throughout, which is inconsistent with drunken tomfoolery," end quote. Though perhaps not inconsistent with predatory, fucking violent mayhem.
Cat man.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Fucking.
Yeah, no, I mean, the silence doesn't preclude a human occupant.
No. I mean, you got to keep it open that this could have just been someone in a fucking shitty lion costume broke into this kid's house.
100%.
And was like, here we go. Because if not, what the fuck is that about?
Absolutely.
Ugh, all right. It's gross.
We're gonna continue to deal with this, and the line is still a little bit blurry here. But at this point, you're still like, even though crouching on a windowsill, I mean, I don't know how big this fucking sill is, but for a
Yeah.
tall
That's
guy.
what was confusing me. He said he jumped. I'm like, well, wait a minute. How,
So was it like 2.5 feet
how
tall?
the fuck was he
Yeah.
in a window scrunch? Like,
Here I come.
I mean, they're not that big unless the whole window pops
Yeah, it's one of those
open,
like bay
right?
windows with like a little fucking sitting area on it. But that's not what he described. Well, he didn't really describe anything. He just said a windowsill, so we have to assume classic sill.
Just imagine him dressed
Classic
like the
Sill.
lion from the fucking Wizard of Oz. Just that
Oh,
shitty
but just
fucking
dirty
ugh,
and-
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
God, I just want to
Like scummy 70s birthday party.
punch him in
clown
the
dirty.
face. Just fucking smash this dude in the face.
What's the only option,
I mean,
really?
it's what I'm feeling like right now. It's just my emotions. I'm going through them. It's okay.
It's all right. That's what we're
We'll
here
all
to
live.
share.
Good.
We're here to
Okay.
participate.
Perfect. Okay. Cool. Sweet.
Although the next incident occurred outside, it demands mentioning, as the eyewitness, Jabberwocky, spelled with a 4, a 3, and a 0,
Clearly a hacker.
who posted his encounter as a response to Oni's own account, also had a scary skirmish with a couple of costumed beings posing as lions in rural Texas in the early 1990s. Quote, I have a memory of pulling into church with my dad when I was about 5 or 6. We were early and pulled up around back to drop something off at the kitchen. The back was just a huge field surrounded by trees. All of a sudden, 2 people, in lion costumes, ran up and began dancing around the car. These fuckers love to dance.
Dude.
They're fucking Kevin Baconing everywhere. It's all footloose
I mean,
here.
that's what you do when you're an animal person. You dance, you frolic.
Yeah.
You just foot loose to your fucking heart's content.
You know, it's got to be kind of hard for a quadruped to dance. So if you can assume the form, you're going to rock.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
Okay. They were being aggressive, but not so much that they could get into the car. The car was rocking slightly, being pushed around by the lions. I remember hiding my face, being scared, and suddenly the rocking stopped, and I looked up, and they were gone. End quote.
You're in Texas, dude. You know?
The bipedal lions of Texas.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you going to do?
Yeah, you know, who knows? You're 5 or 6. Who knows?
Or a henshin hero. I mean, if
Fucking
you were in Japan, it
pagans.
would have made sense.
Dude, I mean,
Pagan ceremonies.
interpretive dance irritates me as it is, but now it's this weird thing.
It was the
You're-
early 90s. It was just
I
like...
I can't do it, dude.
They could have been on their way to Burning
can't
Man.
sit-
Was Burning Man around in 90? Maybe
I don't know,
not.
man. I just can't deal with interpretive dances and
some
weird
cult,
people.
some weird cult.
Oh,
A
yeah.
lion cult? Trying to invade church grounds,
I mean,
scare
Again.
the parishioners.
it's Texas. Guns are a thing. They're everywhere.
Yeah,
just saying.
No,
Just
that's
saying.
something that you have to throw up when you're thinking about this.
Yep.
Because this is a Texas dad, 1990, with his 5 or 6 year old son in the car. Now, maybe he didn't have a weapon in the car, but it wasn't uncommon, especially in that portion of the universe. You're really taking a risk, assuming they don't have it and they won't use it.
Dude, this art
when you're scaring the fuck out of the kid
Yeah.
and shaking dude's car.
This art
Assuming
project,
that all that was actually happened.
right.
Well, of course.
Yeah, that would
Right.
be... You're taking a chance.
This art
Absolutely.
project is going to get you shot.
Yes.
100% dead.
Yeah, this installation is going to not be profitable.
Your
It's
interpretive
going to
dance,
cost you everything.
interpretive dance of sorrow is going to get you dead.
Strangely, there was no mention of the father, often a valiant protector of his brood, responding to the incident. Nor were there any mentions of what his immediate reaction was to this idiosyncratic incident. But Jabberwocky claimed that eventually he brought up the incident to his father, and his response was peculiar to say the least. Quote, I asked my dad about it years later, and he said he did have kind of a memory of it, but thought it was a dream.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
It strikes me as odd that an event as patently bizarre and even threatening as being accosted Cujo-like in a church parking lot by men in lion suits, especially when you have a terrified child in tow, would not stick in the memory of the father as a very real and near unforgettable event. And it really does. It seems bizarre.
Yeah, it's weird.
Eventually, the pair, perhaps in a desperate effort to disregard the stranger aspects of the event and simply move on with their lives, blamed the incident on the pastor's mischievous twin sons, who apparently like to flush toilet paper rolls and fucking shoot kids with BBs. 'cause
Okay.
dicks.
Okay.
This could, of course, be a case of truly unique juvenile delinquency, but that in no way explains the father's hazy, dreamlike recollection of the event, or the fact that there was no disciplinary fallout for the kids involved. So again, I don't see a dad forgetting that. Like, I have a sketchy shitbag memory, but if I was in a car with my nephew, fucking decades ago, and that happened, both of us would forever remember it and refer to it at least on a bi-monthly basis.
Seemingly, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that was some shit.
That's
especially if they just disappeared all of a sudden.
Yeah, it's not going to go away that quick.
I have to think that he kind of maybe just wasn't as aggressive as the kid remembers it. That's why the dad kind of blew it off as a bunch of fucking hooligan. Like,
well, if
maybe
I totally did what you're saying, Chris. But if the dad had, when he talked about it later, like all the pastors, bastards, kids were out there fucking around in their Halloween outfits and la la, then I can almost be like, okay, because that's. I mean, obviously that is an option. But the fact that he was like, oh yeah, that's sort of. But I think I dreamed it. Obviously, he didn't dream it because they have the shared memory. Yep. Unless they both passed out in the car for some reason, and had a shared dream, and it's a whole other paranormal avenue. But I'm going to leave that fucking. I'll let that shit lie for now.
Well, I mean, maybe some of it seemed familiar. That's why he said it. And it's just a weird statement by the guy. I don't really know what that means.
Yeah,
what he said.
But I don't know. I can't help. I mean, me being who I am, to think that because it's like this like fuzzy recollection of something that he can't quite place. It reminds me of alien abduction, obscuring style.
Well,
where they just where entities, of some paranormal origin have an ability to kind of fuddle with the way you remember them or the context. So,
all right, so
again, I know it's a reach. It's probably kids in a fucking suit. Why they got twin lion suits. I mean, they're twins. Maybe that's their deal. Why that seemed like a fun thing to. Who the fuck knows?
I mean, I'm not taking Thundercats off the table.
Yeah, it still could be.
Could still be.
Right. Absolutely. Bizarre as it seems, Oweney and Jabberwocky would not be the only children to have to deal with out-of-context African animals. On the same post, a user named Tamiyu posted her own odd encounter on February 6th, 2009. The incident has to rank among the strangest I've ever encountered. It's fucking odd. Tamiyu writes, quote, "When I was small, I imagine in the 4 or 5 range, I was moved into a different bedroom than the one I'd been in up until then. Nothing frightening, just a move from one room to the neighboring one. Although I'd had no problem sleeping in the other room, each night when I would try to sleep in the new room, something weird would happen." End quote. And this chick's not lying. It's fucking weird. Quote, "I would see about half-sized lions, leopards, and I assume white tigers leaping over my bed in a never-ending loop. They never threatened me, just leapt over the bed, ran under the bed to the other side, and then leapt over it again. I could close my eyes and pretend they weren't there and fall asleep, but it happened every night, and I complained enough that my parents actually remember it." So that's just odd.
Huh, okay.
Mini lions and tigers.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like something.
Leopards.
Yeah, huh. Okay.
Just in a constant weird. It's like counting sheep, but
right.
AWOL.
Yeah.
Yep.
Huh.
After many nights of this non-aggressive yet oddly intimidating display, Tamiyu would encounter yet another eccentric animal that could speak, and though diminutive, claimed to be able to protect her. She continued, quote, "One night, on top of my dresser, a small rhino appeared."
Yeah.
So cute.
This is my kind of fucking story.
This is actually kind of adorable.
I know. It won't stay that way.
Unless, I was going to say...
Oh, good. All right. It threatens to kill her. Whatever.
It looked really friendly, and it told me somehow that it would keep the big cats away. Isn't that so sweet?
All right.
So far.
Good.
No doubt relieved by the appearance of her small-horned savior, little could Tamiyu know that in mere seconds her comfort would transform into horror. And it would be all her mother's fault.
Ah, shit. It's always the mom. All right.
Quote, "My mother was in the room when this happened, and one of the strongest, most vivid memories of my childhood is telling her to look at it, hurry before it goes, and her turning around and smacking it off the top of the dresser, and me crying and telling her the rhino wasn't what had been scaring me." End quote. The tiny rhino was evidently unable to survive her mother's massive blow.
No.
And lay dead where it landed.
Oh, God, there's been a murder. Most foul.
What the fuck is happening right now?
She killed the protective tiny dresser rhino.
He's like, I am
Does
here,
she?
here to protect you from all this
God.
awful. And then the mom, boop,
Smack,
I am
boom, dead. The fuck?
Oh, my God. Okay.
Okay, well...
All right.
Tamiyu claimed, "Of course my mother has no recollection of killing it,"
Fucking murdering fucker.
cryptically adding, "I was too scared to sleep in that room after that. for fear of the rhino's revenge, or because I felt that it had been what was keeping the cats from attacking me, end quote. So that's a double fuck.
Yeah.
Because you have a
So-
protective entity that maybe
Like
hadn't
you're-
even shown itself before, but it's keeping the cats jumping and not biting.
Yep.
And then it finally shows up and is like, little Tammy you, or whatever your real name is. I am Gorflor, the great rhino, who's
Probably
tiny.
Gorflor, yeah.
And I'm here to protect you from every... Mom! Ah! Gorflor!
He's just dead.
And he's just fucking dead.
I mean-
and she's like, I can't sleep in the room. Rhino's revenge.
Yeah. Oh, God.
It's amazing
But
to
like,
me.
does the mom just she remembers everything except killing it when she slapped it?
Does she
Or
remember seeing it?
Right.
Oh,
Like,
man.
I do not know.
I'm asking
That's
you.
the problem with this. And this is also the problem with things that were posted in.
Because that's a
I
big
don't know,
difference. She's like,
2000 whatever.
I asked my mom. She's like, "Oh no, I remember seeing the rhino, and but I don't remember killing it."
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's then it's like,
problematic.
oh well, that's fucked up. But if she doesn't remember any of the encounter,
It is such a heavy line, though. Of course, my mother has no recollection of killing it.
yeah,
And that really threw me for a fucking loop because when I first read it, I was like, oh, she knocked the rhino down, but he's this ephemeral, tiny, speaking rhino. He's the fucking, the Narnia lion. He he hangs out, he can help you out, and then fucking all of a sudden, like, nope, done. It's crazy.
Well.
oh boy.
Our next case comes to us from the indispensable, irrepressible, and goddamn handsome Derek Hayes of the fabulous Monsters Among Us podcast.
Oh, shit. What up, Derek?
Dang.
What's going on, brother?
In one of the recorded encounters played on the pod in 2017, specifically Season 4, Episode 4, an eyewitness apparently named Scott, it's a little fuzzy sounding, claimed to have had a terrifying scrape with an ape-like being when he was 10 years old in 1977. Scott was asleep in his bedroom in his parents' Southern California home when he suddenly woke with a start. Scott was laying on his side. His bedroom door was ajar and a dim light streamed in from the hallway. Unsure of what it was that had woken him, Scott was startled to see a chimpanzee clad in denim overalls round the corner of the corridor and lock eyes with him.
Friendship.
Friendship.
Nothing
Yeah.
like denim overalls.
Friendship.
It ruins it. When you're
Yeah.
like, why does he have overalls on?
I mean, it was 77, BJ and the Bear. I mean, when you owned a chimp, you dressed a chimp.
Oh, yeah. You gotta put some fucking shorts or Hawaiian shirt or some sandals.
I mean,
something.
don't dress your chimp, but yeah, you got it.
Make him look fancy.
Yeah, crock him up.
Yeah, give him some Crocs.
There you
dude.
go.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude.
That's weird. Scott's initial surprise quickly devolved into terror as the sinister simian began heading straight toward him. Hoping it was nothing more than a bad dream, Scott turned around and squeezed his eyes shut, wishing that the ape-like apparition would simply disappear. He would have no such luck. Without warning, the furry fiend leapt onto Scott's bed and, instead of attacking him, began jabbing its elongated fingers into the elementary schooler's sides, tickling him.
Oh, this went real creepy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Being extremely ticklish, the squirming Scott could not help but laugh through his fear as he did his best to escape the pernicious primate. After about 10 seconds, which must have felt like forever, and there's nothing worse when someone strong is tickling you and you're fucking young. And
Yep, that's
they
it.
don't
It's
follow
awful.
the uncle protocols and fucking cut it the fuck out.
Yep.
If you feel like you're going to die and you hate that, it's just the worst all across the board. Okay. So 10 seconds, it felt like forever. This hairy horror stopped its nighttime assault. Too terrified to move, Scott never saw what happened to the insidious, though fashion-forward, imp. And for the rest of the night, he remained hidden under his blankets, almost certainly praying for daylight. So, I don't know, neighbor has a chimp, breaks out.
Yeah. I
No.
mean, actually, I remember this call from Monsters Among Us with our buddy Derek. Yeah, it's yeah, man.
I mean, do people generally dress chimps?
I mean,
pets?
I've never known anyone who owned a chimp.
I think
I've seen it on TV.
Yeah,
where
I've
people
never
dress
actually
them.
seen anyone that owns one, but
or
maybe.
like old episodes of Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom with
Yeah,
Marlon Perkins,
no,
and they
I
had a
mean-
little dressed up chimp in like a sailor suit doing some dumb shit when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I mean,
All
people
right.
love to do that to their humanoid counterparts.
Yeah. I mean, I got my dog a pretty dope fucking vest.
Right.
He's tiny. He needs it. He's cold.
Well, there you are.
Yeah.
So all I can think, I mean, putting the skeptic's hat on, that a neighbor, though you'd think you'd know. I mean, any kid in the neighborhood, if you have a neighbor that has a chimp,
You
you're
would think
gonna
you would
fucking
know.
Everyone talks to that kid because they want to hang out with a fucking chimp.
Totes.
Yeah.
But maybe it's 2 streets over. Who the fuck knows?
Dude, it maybe escaped. It found a pair of overalls. Was like, this looks good. I'm gonna go terrify this kid.
So we can't say. I mean, no one can say de
Could be
facto
a
that
real
most
chimp.
of these are paranormal.
No,
it could be a real chimp that somehow broke in and
Yeah.
it likes to fucking tickle people. Thinks it's fun.
Weird.
Tickle
Not
chimp,
being
dude.
evil. Tickle
Dude,
chimp.
the fucking the tickle chimp.
The terror of the tickle chimp.
It's
Well,
so creepy.
we'll make that somehow.
Oh yeah.
Are we gonna make that movie, The
Yeah.
Tickle Chimp?
Oh,
Who's gonna be the chimp wrangler?
You're
Not-
clearly you're the chimp.
Oh, I get to dress up as
Yeah.
the chimp. Oh, okay.
You're the most chimpish, I feel like. Like out of all of us, I can see him being a chimp.
Oh yeah.
I'm kind of an
definitely.
ape, so yeah, I'm like a tiny.
And well,
gorilla.
you're also limber
I'm
and
like a
young.
smaller gorilla,
You've already
I
done
guess.
suit work.
That's what
on
I'm
TV.
saying.
Yeah.
You know, you're good.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll take it. I'll take that as a
not?
compliment.
You're the tickle chimp.
Okay, maybe not. All right, Mark the Tickle Chimp. All right, Rob.
Our final 2 cases are called again from the Charles Fort Institute's forum. This first one, is brief but far too fun not to include. On July 7th, 2003, a user named Filthy Le Dog, I know,
Nice.
simply stated, quote, I can't believe what I've just read. I have heard before, though, of children having these experiences, but none of them as detailed as this, or as what happened to me. Mine is a similar story, except instead of normal animals, I had an octopus that sat on the end of my bed as a child in the early morning and talked to me.
Okay, that's an elevation there.
He added, it wasn't a real octopus. It was like a cartoon one, but a real cartoon one, if you understand what I mean. I can even remember feeling the weight on the bottom of the bed as though he had a real physical presence. Weird?
I mean,
I don't know.
You
You mean like Roger Rabbit? Like real cartoon in real life?
yeah.
Well, yes, but I think he means less like goofy cartoon and more like a real, like anime octopus.
Right.
As opposed to.
I mean, thankfully, it's not tickling them. You know?
Yeah,
It's like, hey, what's up, buddy? Welcome to the. Hope you have a good day today. Like, hopefully, it's all it was saying.
Well, we don't know yet.
Okay.
Maybe it's got all knives at the ends of its tentacles.
Oh, and
boy.
it's just talking shit to him like your day's gonna suck. I'm gonna kill your parents.
Or just bugs. It just throws cockroaches at them
Oh,
constantly.
God.
Oh, a cockroach throwing an octopus.
That'd be terrible.
That's awful.
I guess we'll find out.
All right.
Yes,
let's
we
find
will.
out.
Yes, very soon. It doesn't do any of that.
Shit.
Damn it.
But this semi-cartoonish octopoid wasn't the only enigmatic entity dwelling in his room. This is where it gets fucked. Quote, in addition to him, there were some nasty little skinny gnome-type entities that kept appearing on top of my wardrobe, diagonally opposite the end of my bed, who would taunt and threaten me.
See, called it.
The octopus sometimes served as a kind of guardian against these, reassuring me and warding them away. So it's a
There
protectopus.
seems to be a pattern here of
there's
the threat and then there's the guardian beast.
There's the guardian.
Yeah.
Well, rhino. Yeah, well, but as happens to us all, childhood reveries or perhaps abilities have a way of fading as we become older and more rational. Quote, I can't remember him actually going. He's talking about the octopus here. I guess as I got older, the visitations got less and less, and it gradually ended. I do recall being quite sad at some stage, maybe because he'd gone and the gnomes hadn't. That's not a cool thing.
Oh no.
And they were still giving me a hard time. I too would have considered this a dream were it not for the fact that it happened in the morning after morning between the ages of 2 and 4.
How do you remember 2 and
Now,
4?
I know that's where
That's always-
it becomes a little more tenuous. I mean, that's again where we can discuss about like the malleability of a child's brain, but
Yeah.
also where
The malleability of a child's brain.
Yeah.
That's pretty much where it starts and ends right there. Yeah.
Was the octopus, much like Tamu's ill-fated mini rhino, some sort of protective entity that assumed the appearance of a Hanna-Barbera-esque aquatic animal, or actually probably more realistic than Hanna-Barbera, but whatever, for reasons we can only guess at? It seems that these things, at least in some cases, are corporeal creatures in that they have weight and flesh and can evidently be harmed by human beings. What the hell is going on here? Our final encounter was posted on July 3rd, 2003 by a woman named Lauren Churchill, who wrote, quote, I live in Dublin, Ireland, and the following events happened roughly between 1981 and 1985. The series of encounters reported by Lauren occurred when she was approximately 5 to 7 years of age and are surreal to say the least. Quote, when I was very young, I had a nasty habit of getting out of bed in the middle of the night and crawling in between my parents. I was doing this constantly up until around the age of 4, by which stage my dad had obviously had enough. He told me that he'd let me keep the light on all night long as I promised to stay in my own room. I agreed, but lay awake most of the first night just staring at the curtains. I kept drifting in and out of sleep, my mother coming in a couple of times to make sure that I was okay. During the times when I was awake, I kept staring at the design on the curtains, my eyes following it as I attempted to see how many times it repeated itself. It was then that it happened. Quite without warning, a large creature suddenly appeared from behind the curtains. It was perhaps 7 feet high and covered in sandy-colored fur, a lion's head, and a face atop 2 impossibly long legs.
Fucking lions, dude.
But legs just jutting out of the fucking head. In fact, it seemed... Oh, I'll just keep reading. In fact, it seemed as if the legs came directly out of the head. I can't remember the thing having any kind of torso whatsoever. It stood there staring at me for a few seconds before suddenly striding towards the bed. I recoiled, but before I could react further, it simply vanished. That's weird.
The fuck?
I was an angel.
Yeah,
yeah, you know,
no, it's definitely some
I have a
Ezekiel
feeling.
craziness.
Yeah, that really is.
Some
Fuck.
sub-cherub class.
That's a fucking shitbag angel right there.
So, again, I can't... Well,
All right.
I'll get into theories later. I'm fully certain that I wasn't asleep. The memory is far too distinct and clear for it to have been a dream. Strangely enough, though, once it had vanished, I felt no fear whatsoever. I didn't even get out of bed. This would not be her last brush with these anomalous animals. Quote, a couple of years later, I was lying in bed once again, this time with the light off. Once again, I was staring at the curtains and the streetlights outside illuminating the lace patterns in a dim outline of white. As I lay there, I suddenly became aware of some movement by the wardrobe, my eyes focusing in on the door. And then, quite without warning, the wood suddenly seemed to split open. A large white head appeared, much like that of a hippo. It was glowing white, and when it opened its mouth, a strange squeaking sound emerged. It swung its head back and forth for a few moments, and I could have sworn that I heard the sound of laughter from the other side of the room.
What in the actual fuck?
Yeah. Then, in a reverse action, the head disappeared back inside the wardrobe, the wood instantly fixing itself.
Oh, boy.
Once again, I felt no fear. So that's odd. Like,
I mean,
literally like a rewinding of reality. Like
Yeah.
undoing the damage done and having it just suck back in.
All right.
I remember checking the wardrobe the next day, but couldn't find any evidence of anything unusual. I told my parents, but they insisted that I must have been dreaming. I know I wasn't, though. I remember my dreams, and there's a big difference between the atmosphere of a dream and reality. Over the next couple of years, I experienced similar such visitations. The outline of an elephant appearing on the wall at one point, and another occasion when some kind of ape was looking through my bedroom door. Tickle chimp!
Oh, the return of the fucking tickle chimp.
The final incident was somewhat different and far more frightening. It was when I was about 7, once again lying in bed alone. I was wide awake and scared. Why, I don't know. I just kept thinking that there was something in the room watching me. I turned over so that I was now facing the wall, and as I did so, a deep growling sound came from behind me. This time I was scared, but remained hiding under the covers as I was far too terrified to get up and run for the door. This was the last time such an incident took place. So that's just a bizarre series of shit.
Huh.
Because you stay under the covers. That's what saved you.
It saves you. It's always.
Yeah, you gotta stay there, dude.
That is a metaphysical barrier that we all fully know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, human beings aren't, like I talked in the beginning, we're sloppy old sacks of skin, but we are born with one instinct, it seems. As soon as we're old enough to be aware of our surroundings, the danger in it, and the fact that we use blankets, we understand that they are shields.
Cover yourself, dude.
There's got to be some reason for this universal memory.
I still do it to this day.
In later years, Lauren could not help but to ponder the implications of these encounters. Quote, "For years, these memories have haunted me, and I can't help but wonder if anyone else has ever experienced similar bedroom visitations. Perhaps they were mere hallucinations, but why would I be hallucinating up until the age of 7 and then suddenly stop? Why was it always animals that I saw? If there was some problem with my brain, then surely it would have continued into adulthood." End quote. As to the purpose behind these visitations, the experiencer began to speculate on a sort of cosmic consciousness, claiming, quote, "A few years back, I developed an interesting theory of my own as regards to these visions. All the animals I saw were African in origin, as is humanity as a species. Could it be possible that visions of these creatures in childhood serve as a warning to stay away from such animals in real life? Perhaps for children of 1,000,000 years ago, such visions were widespread. As humanity developed civilization and crept to the top of the food chain, there was no longer a need for such warning visions, and we, quote unquote, again, quote within a quote, grew out of them." It's an interesting theory.
I like that actually. It's
You know?
it's some weird inborn, like we don't need it
Communal
anymore.
knowledge, or genetic, maybe, in the same way.
Like a genetic memory. It's like
Yeah.
it's still within our DNA to be like, these are the things you need to fucking be careful
But
of.
why they would manifest in such a patently acid trippy way,
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean,
and not particularly threatening either,
I mean,
for the most part.
if you're half asleep or something and you're just having weird fucking, lucid dreaming things happening, you just happen to start thinking about big cats and shit that's going to attack you. It
Right.
is how we've gotten so far, and those that were attacked didn't make it.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
So they didn't get to pass on their genes.
Exactly.
Oh, that's interesting and brutal.
Yeah, I mean, hey, man, sorry if you can't run from the cat, you can't run from the cat, dog.
Darwin bitch slap.
that's the deal, though.
Sometimes you get fucking mauled, and then the fucking tickle chimp comes out, and that's all over.
Oh, man.
Just tickles you to the lines.
Maybe I'd rather get mauled. Tickle chimp sounds like no kind of fun.
I mean, at least you can fight the tickle chimp off.
Oh, yeah, chimp strength.
Yeah.
Good luck.
You can fight it off.
No. Who are
I mean,
you?
You could do it.
What are you thinking?
I've seen the size of your hands. You have enormous hands, and you're a very powerful man. You can totally do it.
I'd be faceless in 3 seconds.
Yeah,
That's
faceless,
chimp strength.
dickless,
Yeah,
ballless.
allless. Like front sideless.
You could do it too.
While they're fucking screaming.
Yeah.
So that just really throws you off immediately.
totally.
Off your game.
And once your nose is gone, the panic sets in. You can't stop thinking about, holy fuck, I don't have a nose anymore.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean,
Much less
have,
your dick.
I have faith that you both could take care of a chimp.
I don't think the 3 of us could do it.
All right. Well, I don't want to test that theory.
I mean, I'm just running.
As me and Rob die. All right.
Okay, we're going to round this up. While it's certainly a possibility, the possibility being this communal memory, that Lauren added one further detail at the end of her account, which opens up an entirely new realm of possibilities. Quote, "One further thing. I don't know whether it's a coincidence or not, but the cessation of these incidents seemed to coincide with the removal of the old wardrobe from my room." Adding, "The wardrobe was already in the house when we moved there back in 1980, and it was old then. The way it was built into the wall, I reckon it had been there since the house was built in the late 40s. Curiouser and curiouser. Some fucking crazy ass Narnia shit.
I was going to say, are we going?
Yes,
Are we going Narnia
Lewis
now?
fan?
We got a lot to break down on
All
this
right.
one, guys. So this is the roundup. This is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to children having run-ins with wild, alien, and at times anthropomorphic animals, and it's difficult to know what to make of these accounts. Surely some of it can be attributed to the whimsy of a child.
Oh.
But might there be something more profound at work here? Could we be dealing with entities, be they corporeal or phantasmagorical, that can only be seen by minds not yet locked into the practicality of adult survival mode? Or are we dealing with weirdly whimsical demons, angels, aliens, foundational creatures, or interdimensional entities that, for reasons we can only wonder and worry about, are focusing on human children with both bizarre buffoonery and laser-like intensity? Let's collectively hope that their intentions are well placed.
Oh, shit.
Well,
Put on down that shit.
Tickle chimp is seemingly
A dick.
okay.
Well, he's a dick, but he's not hurting you. But it still hurts.
Right.
No, it hurts. Getting poke tickled hurts.
Yeah.
He probably had some.
Well, if it's in, like,
Scotty
the
had some
ribs,
rib bruises.
So,
yeah.
I mean, obviously here, as previously stated, and it actually was recently brought up in an episode of Astonishing Legends, the whimsy of a child.
Yes.
So we put it out there on the table. Clearly, this is all this could be. I have weird not dream memories of shit when I was a kid that I think is real, but is not real.
For sure, I do
pretty
too.
sure. Like, so that's we all have that. Taking that off the table.
Right. That has to be stated.
We have to put
like
it
of all the
skeptically.
things we've ever
Yeah.
probably dealt with, and we've dealt with some batshit cray.
Yep.
This is the one that you can see most patently being dismissed by even open-minded people.
Oh, totally.
As
For sure.
and especially when you're dealing with the ages we're dealing with, as just okay, you see some shit. You're combining Laugh Olympics or whatever your generation's cartoons were with fucking whatever,
Right.
And it just happens, and then you read about something on the internet, and that triggers a memory in you, like, oh, what the fuck? I saw some shit. So all of that is a possibility. And I'm sure some of it is definitely attributable to that.
Yeah.
But there might really be something deeper. So you say, table that for now, like you just said.
Yeah, I do enjoy the idea, though, going back to the theory, though, of being some genetic memory. Like, it's just some weird leftover thing in your brain that for some reason when you're a kid, as you said, their brains are all mushy and they're not, fucking attached to reality or whatever. Just kind of something that you go through, it just comes up because we're supposed to be scared of predators with giant teeth and fucking eyes and shit in the night. Like, that's how we fucking made it. That's how we climbed trees and fucking we're like, stay away from these things.
Right. But unlike antelope, that is something that has to be learned in human beings.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
I'm not a neurologist. I don't know how that affects
a brain. I mean,
your genetics affect dreams.
There's got to be some weird
I guess
connection
possible,
there.
Maybe like for all of these or just for this one.
No, I think
because it doesn't explain.
I think maybe for
Well,
you're
we're
right.
gonna have
Creepy
to tackle
windowsill
these
lion-o and,
individually
like,
a little bit.
If we're talking about the men dressed as lion creatures,
Yeah, let's separate that for now.
But with those two cases there, that clearly might not be some weird genetic memory thing. That could fall under some. I mean, obviously, it's got to be some weird entity. It can't just be like. It could be a dude. It could just be dudes.
Yes, we know that.
All right.
They could be dudes or twins that are just dick balls.
Creepy people in lion suits.
But I don't know what. But disappearing is a little weird.
It is. It's strange.
But then again, if a kid gets dropped in a heap on the floor and they're startled, and this guy's got like Batman reflexes, maybe you can duck into the kitchen and hide. I mean, but you can't rule out the possibility of it having a pedestrian explanation.
No.
Both of those cases could.
Why would something want to look like a costumed animal if it wasn't a human being that's a fucking weird super creeper or kids playing pranks?
I don't
if
know.
It's trying to appeal to a child, and it's like, oh, look, I'm dressed up.
Look,
like,
and we're dancing.
Yeah, and it obviously doing an awful fucking job of it. Clearly.
Well, if you go to like, this is going to be a weird analogy. It's the best one I can come up with right now. John Carpenter's Starman, underspoken about because it was it's a family friendly comedy, though he out Spielberg in that film as far as I'm concerned.
Yep.
And Jeff,
there it goes.
Fucking help me out.
Jeff Bridges.
Bridges, thank God. He played it like a weird bird who didn't get anything, and him and fucking Carpenter traveling around doing whatever. I don't even remember how it all plays out. I just remember liking it when I was a kid. If you're an entity, and this creature that Jeff Bridges played had nothing but good intentions, but you don't know how to fucking relate, you might do things that you think are putting people at ease, like, oh, the kids like animals. Here's a costume. It's a comfort. And they like to dance. And all of these things in your mind, you're like, I'm doing everything I can to put this much more primitive creature that isn't as smart or evolved as I am at ease, but really you're just a living fuck-sucking nightmare.
Yeah, so it's their misinterpretation on their end.
Like, I mean, maybe you just can't, you don't get it. In the same way, truly, we've said this analogy a billion times, but truly dedicated environmentalists, conservationists, naturalists, scientists will put down an elk with a fucking trank gun and tag it and do all sorts of things that are for the benefit of its species and that individual animal, but it comes off as a horrifying shit show in as much as they can perceive it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, so if this is some entity, I don't get the end game here besides scaring the shit out of the kids.
Yeah, well, because there doesn't appear to be one in any of
but
these.
they don't
really,
always get scared. So
yeah, well,
the lion king part of this
Right.
could be dismissed.
Yeah.
Or it could have a weird agenda you don't know, and it doesn't seem to. Well, frightening. I guess the ones in the car attack are definitely trying to scare.
Yeah, and even the one I think in the living room is probably trying to scare the kid. I mean,
That's fair.
I
Well,
think
yeah,
those
said
two
it threw him around the room,
Yeah.
then dropped him like
Yeah.
a sack of
Yeah,
fucking
exactly.
turds.
It's not comforting.
Like that's not. Yeah.
You old sack of turds.
But now there are some stories here where you do have some guardian RIP to the tiny rhino, guardian type
Maybe.
creatures,
That's
the
true.
octopus and the
Possible.
rhino,
Yeah.
that are kind of trying to keep. That almost does to me sound like some. I don't know, not angel and demon, but you have the good force and the bad force, and
Yes.
whatever it is trying to hang
Classic
out
story.
and be like,
Classic story.
you shall not pass. And then Balrog comes up and fucking eats his mom, and then mom kills Rhino.
That dynamic. Love that dynamic.
You know,
Yeah, I love the idea that there is warring factions in the paranormal plane
Dude.
that are fighting for the souls and or psyches and or very lives of children, and that there are evil imps in your fucking closet that
Cat's
are doing
eye.
whatever.
Cat's eye.
And yeah, don't you always think back to that?
I do.
You get that.
You kinda have to,
fucking,
really.
I mean, it's a cat doing cool
Dude.
cat shit.
Right,
It's
but
not
that's
a
like a real
paranormal
cat.
cat. but
Right.
Yeah.
It's
I used
an
to
actual
look.
cat.
I used to go into like our. We had like a big furnace in the center of our house, and it was like a grate, and we'd like occasionally go down. And my dad would like clean it out, and I'm like, "Is there tiny weapons in here that the cat killed the little troll?" I'd be like looking for like little weapons.
Oh, can you imagine if someone looked through some He-Man shit down the vent and you found it?
We actually did that so that we could find our GI Joe and our He-Man stuff. But I'm like, one day I'm gonna find the sword that's actually a real sword because the cat.
A little steel.
Yeah, because our cat Candy Corn killed the fucking troll that was trying to steal my breath.
Oh my god.
You
that's
might not
beautiful.
never know if they were like paranormal and like when the cat killed them and say that like they poofed away into steam or something, so you
Yeah.
never find a body.
Sure.
Yep.
And then they have to eat the cats eat the weapons.
Yeah.
Oh.
Then they go puke it out somewhere else. You would never fucking know.
Like the two piles of cat poop
Right.
that we had when we came down here.
there could have been just bits of a fucking rapier in there, smashed to bits.
That's true.
You would never fucking know.
Yeah,
I
that
would-
cat puke that pisses us all off, that could literally be them saving our fucking souls.
Dude, that thing was the biggest goddamn pile of cat puke ever. There was just a fucking hairball the size of a shit in there.
Maybe it was a mini
God,
ogre.
it
Who
could've-
knows?
Yeah.
It was a mini.
With an
What if
afro.
there
That was the hairball.
Like little feet in there, and Vader fucking caught him, or he just ate too much food.
Yeah,
and
they
fucking
can't
puked
digest the
everywhere.
hair, but
Yeah.
or the weapons or the armor.
They're-
So
But the body disintegrates.
I think we all want to believe that our cats are saving us constantly, and every one of us, especially that saw Cat's Eye when we were young, I think secretly believes that.
so there could be the battle between good and evil.
But the idea of two different paranormal factions, that dynamic, as I was saying earlier, even though I couldn't say that word, I'm fascinated by it. It's the fiction writer and all of it. It's our fantasy.
Yeah, totally.
The fantasy film lover and all of us. But I like the idea of a tiny rhino that's like, oh, those big cats.
Everyone does, yeah.
You must
Yeah.
not worry, Tammy. It's
but then
fine now.
her
Okay,
fucking-
then mom
fucking-
screaming, done.
asshole mom kills a protective rhino.
That's a dick move.
Just imagine the poor
That's a
girl
twist.
looking at the rhino, and he's got like that weird like when like the death
I
rose.
still want. I wish we knew if the mom actually remembered
Remembered
it.
seeing the
She's
rhino.
like,
and just said no. I thought I stunned it. Like,
I stunned it.
right? Is she remembers seeing the rhino? Oh yeah, the rhino was clear there. I just don't remember dragon punching it into the next dimension, or she just doesn't remember the event. That's what I want to know.
I mean, if there's a tiny rhino on my kid's dresser and I freaked out and smacked it, I would 100% remember that.
Oh yeah.
But like, remember that time there was a miniature rhinoceros and I just hit it and it died? And then I had to live with being a murderer the rest of my life because I killed a tiny rhino?
That
Like,
could talk
yeah,
and was
it-
protecting your kid from fucking
Exactly.
big cats,
Exactly.
mini big cats.
I mean, that conversation has to come up. Again, unless, of course, we are dealing with the whimsy of the child.
Or if we are dealing with the paranormal erasure of memories,
Oh,
which is again a common trope.
I like that. When they start fucking with your shit, dude.
Or worse yet, the rhino was never good. The rhino was there to give you false hope, and because they're feeding on the fear, the kid eventually gets used to the jumping leopards and tigers, and at first it makes her scared. They're feeding on the fear, ultra terrestrial style.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
eventually she gets used to it, so it's no big deal. So the rhino shows up and is like, "I'm here to protect you. Perhaps I've always protected you. Don't worry, Tammy, you." And then fucking fakes its own death. Dies in a terrible way, leaves her double terrified because not only are the cats now untethered, but the revenge of the rhino that was mentioned, now they are feasting on her terror.
So a gaslighting rhino.
Yep.
Yeah,
You've just
dude.
So this is the Game of Thrones version
Yeah.
of this.
Yeah. Layers.
Yes, 100%.
Just
right.
less dicks.
All right. Well, I enjoy that theory. I think that's it. Christopher, what do you got, buddy?
I'm on board with the gaslighting rhino.
Okay. How about Thundercats? What are you thinking?
I don't think they're actual Thundercats.
Those are the creepy ones. I mean, the other stories here are definitely fucking weird.
Right.
But the first one and then the other weird lion, and that's a weird theme too. Like just dressed as a lion, like
and dancing hard.
How easy is it to get like a lion suit? You know, like
Well,
I mean,
if that's actually what who fucking knows? If it's just long hair, maybe he had some frilly fucking thing on, and so like it's a lie in your brain, just imposes.
lion.
So you're saying
lion.
he's like
I
he's
don't
got like
know.
a hobo beard and shaggy hair, and he's wearing like a fucking camel colored coat.
Dude, Sir Lancelot post Grail.
And he's dancing.
Excalibur.
Exactly. He's
Yeah,
he's
dude.
like Grizzly Adams up, but he's all like blonde and hair is nicotine yellow, and face is all fucking lion
Thinks he's
craggy.
a prophet of the baby, and he's not.
Spins the kid around a few times, drops him on the floor, and next thing you know,
Yeah.
hobo is a fucking lion.
yeah, I mean, could be. I mean, think about like Beauty and the Beast with Ron Perlman. You know, I mean,
Oh, if Ron Perlman was all fucking
he
skeeved
would
out.
he would look like a lion.
Yeah, he
dude.
would. I mean, in the makeup he did, clearly.
Yeah,
but
but even without that,
just
man.
bearded and grizzled.
Yeah, just pissy.
Yeah, no,
So-
you would definitely say that's a fucking lion person.
I'm a better Hellboy
Yeah.
than that guy from fucking Stranger Things.
He really was.
Oh, he was. 100%.
Yeah,
Holy
undeniably.
shit. Yeah, that movie fucking was awful.
Right.
So, I mean, we got a lot on the table here.
Yes.
It's
So,
tough.
but we're-
When they say they got memories from 2 to 4, you're like, but at the same time, though, to have that kind of remembrance of it, to be able to recall it that well, whether it's 2 to 4 or not,
Right.
and then repeat it on a forum, we can all do that.
Sure.
Granted, but if they're to be believed,
Do you have any memories from that age?
no, dude.
See, I have
don't.
snippets.
I do. I have some, but they're never not like a whole story. I remember
No.
seeing Star Wars at the drive-in.
Right.
Dude, I was like fucking not old at all, but I remember
Right.
going there.
Right.
I remember the guy, Excalibur. Like we
Sure.
we had to figure out what
Yeah,
movie
yeah,
was playing.
with
and we
alternate
fucking
states.
My
Yeah.
parents didn't remember that, and I was 6 or
Sure.
7. But I don't remember the whole night.
Right.
I don't remember a whole. I mean, it's easy to think that you know something for sure
Right.
for back then.
Yeah.
But like that happens, right? And then a week later, you have a memory of it.
Right.
I think that's maybe one fucking little thing changed in that memory.
Right.
A couple months later, you still remember that thing. You're like, maybe another fucking.
could be
thing
adding to it, yeah.
Slightly changed, and it's like.
Yeah.
So by the time you're 30 years later, you're like, I remember it was like yesterday. But like, if the video tape was there and you watch it, you'd be like, oh my god, the room was blue. I thought it was yellow.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a fucking lianoid, but it really wasn't. And fucking.
No, human memory is a shit show.
So yeah,
it's
so
been
I'm just
proven
that's-
time and time again.
Yeah, that's it. It's the thing with these kinds of stories. It's like you kind of want to pick and be like, oh, this could be this, but it's like
Right.
you don't really know how accurate that account is.
That's
Yeah.
absolutely
And so
true.
you could just do what we're doing and going, yeah, it's teleporting alien lianoids.
Right.
I mean,
The paranormal Game of Thrones.
yeah, there it
This
is.
This is though
Possibly
what
homeless
makes
Thundercat.
Lauren Churchill's account a little more intriguing because it's multiple and it runs the course of years. I think I said 5 to 7. I think 4 to 7 at least.
Yeah.
And yeah, again, a sketchy time for memory, undeniably. And we can convince ourselves of things that never happened, undeniably.
Right.
But the fact that the first thing I think she encountered was let me find it here. The lion with the legs jutting out of its head.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
the
was
weird cherubim.
Yeah, that was weird.
So it's cherubim-esque, but here's what I also think. This is interesting to me. First off, let's deal with the fact that a lot of times she is watching the repeating pattern on a curtain. And we've all gone into like fugue states, maybe strong, but
Yeah,
a state of like a hypnagogic kind of state by looking at repeating
100%.
patterns over and over again.
100%.
And either you drift off to sleep or you zone out or suddenly you snap back to reality and like, oh my God, where the fuck did my head go?
Yep.
Yeah.
And now you can make an argument that primed her mind to experience things that she wouldn't ordinarily see. You could also make a very compelling argument that just put her in like a dreamlike state
Right.
where she's going to see weird shit. So that needs to be acknowledged.
Yeah.
This fucking lacy curtain that seems to be, at least, in a couple of these cases, the initial phase of these experiences. I don't know what to make of it. Honestly, don't know if it's paranormal or prosaic, but we'll leave it at that.
Okay.
The leg sticking out of a fucking neck, obviously, Hunter and Peyton, I was there when they were kids. Now I got Liam and I got Riley. Liam draws for me all the time. I got this great picture of Nessie with boogers falling out of its nose that he just drew me.
Yeah.
I'm going to frame that shit, put it up in our studio. But fucking, he's all the time when he was younger, especially. Now he has an uncle who's an artist, so I, try to train him in the way. But kids will throw legs coming out of the bottom of a head. They almost never draw torsos and groins.
Yeah.
They just throw long legs, and where the ears should be, the arms come out.
I've done
over and over. I do
I've
like
totally
that too.
Used to do that. Yeah,
100%. So I can't help but think, Tulpa. I mean, this is basically a real life version of a child's drawing.
I like that.
And if she's just a little kid, and I mean, no matter how hard you try, you see a lion on TV, you're not going to be able to fucking draw it when you're little. You're processing it in a whole different way. That this thing could be, again, this kind of lends even more credence to the idea that she might have just been dreaming the fucking thing. But like that, this kind of thing is a manifestation from the mind rather than the mind observing something external.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah. I mean, especially if you put yourself in some weird state like that, you just kind of, your mind goes there to that art that you did, and all of a sudden you're seeing it like in real life. That's interesting.
And then as soon as it's
weird
gone,
mini tulpa, yeah,
she stops fearing it. Again, that could be that calming effect that paranatural entities seem to be able to exude, especially aliens.
The Greys do that shit too,
all
dude.
the time. Like, what's going on? Like, hey, you're chill, buddy.
Cool,
I mean, or her subconscious really knows it's just a projection, and so that she just isn't afraid.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Weird.
So then a couple years later, she goes, lights off. She's, again, the streetlights outside illuminating the lace patterns and the dim outline of white, the curtain again. She's focusing on the door. Now, this is one of the most intriguing ones.
The wardrobe?
The wood splits.
Yeah.
Very, I think, Time Bandit-y, but it's not really that. And this glowing white hippo head comes out, squeaks, thrashes, and then the weirdest part, the fucking wood melts back together, old school mid-90s CGI style.
Yeah, sure.
And the head fucking retreats.
I do have a weird memory of, I think my dad bringing me upstairs or downstairs at my grandparents' house, and there was this white head that came out of the wall, similar, kind of like in a similar fashion to that.
Okay.
It didn't break anything, but what's funny is my father and my grandfather had some like golf statue of like some weird cartoonish looking dude with like a big bulbous nose and a big head, like a tiny waist, like golfing.
Okay.
And I was clearly half asleep because I remember being carried and looking at the wall, and this face came out of it. But it was that golfing. It was the character of the golfer that came out was this really weird, big looking head. I still remember it.
But it came out of the wall.
Yes, but I was definitely like asleep because it kind of like freaked me out after that. Like I would like look at this weird statue thing, and I'm just like, oh man, thing was in the fucking wall.
Yeah, fuck that thing.
Yeah, but
so again,
it was clearly
100%. You are a rational adult, and
Yeah.
you should be. You've got kids to take care of. You got shit to do. You're saying, "Yep, I saw the statue. I must have kind of half let it slip out of my head that it popped out,
for sure.
or something indefinable
Uh-oh.
is dwelling there." It creates an image you're familiar with that maybe isn't necessarily offensive.
Oh,
It
to get
appears to you to get your attention, but
Yeah.
not to terrify you
Now it
by
wants my
taking its
soul.
original form. No, maybe it doesn't have any nefarious intent.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it's just
All right.
trying to be seen by someone who's the right age to see it,
Yeah.
and assuming a form that he doesn't think you'll be offended by. But because it's such a weird event, as you get older and realize the improbability of that happening, you begin to fear the object that it resembled.
Dude, children are all psychic.
Well, some people think that. Some people think all children can
Yeah,
see
there's
the
that
dead
theory. Yeah,
and
yeah.
all that shit. And but here's the thing. What if it literally is 6 of one and half a dozen of the other?
Yeah, I mean,
what if it literally is partially bullshit and stop buying all this crap, but partially
Yeah,
who the fuck knows?
I'm totally open to
mean,
the idea
you
that
don't,
kids
but-
can, because their brains are a little bit more malleable than ours, that they can experience things that we can't. I've not have any proof for that, but I could see it being a thing.
Everyone knows that, Chris and I are recovering Catholics, as it were. We left that shit behind, and there's a lot of stuff. And I don't believe in a lot of the Judeo-Christian legends, least of all the Garden of Eden or Noah's Ark or things like that. But I can't help but think in this situation, I don't know, as we've been talking about it, it just pops in my head. The loss of innocence that allegedly happened to Adam and Eve due to the consumption of the apple and the temptation of the snake, or the snake man, as it was actually originally described, a reptilian, if you will.
Oh, shit.
Leave that aside. What if that innocence wasn't necessarily like just this childlike frolicking, as a lot of people assume, and then the knowledge was, shame and self-awareness and lust and the danger of predators and all these things. What if it really is kind of a metaphor for a way of looking at the world that is much more psychedelic and surreal, like the way children can see the world as this wide open playground of possibility and weirdness, and that knowledge wasn't necessarily being granted a gift of knowing about your world, but the curse of having the pathways in your mind made fucking solid, and now you think about in terms of shame and jealousy and desire and technology and the dangers of the world, and so you have to deal with all this practical shit, and you can no longer engage with the mystical because everyone described, it seems like it's the Garden of Eden is like a petting zoo nudist colony where I guess fruit is plentiful and water is clean. But maybe it was something much more surreal, much more wide open. Maybe the reason God could commune directly with these creations that are supposedly made in his image. Again, I do not buy the hype, but I'm just trying to put it in that kind of perspective. Maybe this sort of innocence was an ability to integrate with, communicate with, and be a part of this wider version of reality because the limitations of quote unquote knowledge weren't imposed.
That is why we all have to do mushrooms.
Yeah.
There it is.
I'm not going to do that ever.
I mean, we could together and be okay.
No,
We
I
can
don't
be
like
each other's
brain things.
What? Really? Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
no.
I mean, we don't got to do a ton of mushrooms. We can just do
I don't even want one. I don't want to have one.
My wife's a nurse. She can watch us to make sure that we don't die.
Oh, that doesn't help you not go nuts.
It's mushrooms. It's mushrooms.
Oh,
It's not fucking acid.
First off, I get sick of that argument. People are like, they're organic. It's good. Fucking nightshade's organic. A lot of things that are organic
mandrake.
are not great.
Oh, the mandrake root.
Secondly,
Tapioca.
yes. Oh, shit.
You just look at it and you're dead.
Oh, man, I want to think about
Little
it.
bubbles of mayhem.
Oh, God.
Granted, LSD is more dangerous because you don't know who's making
Way
it
more
or
dangerous.
what fucking meth lab it came out of or whatever bullshit. I get all that, but we know somebody that overdid it on the mushroom tip and went through a real dark phase for a real long time.
All right, so maybe we're going to take mushrooms off the table, but regardless, there you have it, the Midnight Menagerie. Oh, creepy kids and awful. This poor rhino was murdered.
They killed the rhino.
I'm
killed the
going to
rhino.
believe that it was not murdered.
Okay, I mean,
There.
All right, there it is.
Oh, okay,
that
there
it
you go.
that it got beaten back, literally got punched back to its own dimension.
Yeah.
That's what she saw. That's not what really happened.
That
Okay.
makes sense.
All right. Well, then the rhino was not murdered.
But why
Fair.
did the octopus bail before the
Dude,
wardrobe goblins were
can't
gone?
because
That's
they
the real
fucking-
Game of Thrones
That's
story.
the
Dude,
bullshit.
he's the real
yeah,
betrayer.
Dude, they fucking stabbed him, dude. They killed the octopus.
Or just for a second,
man.
imagine laying in bed when you're a kid, and there's this. I imagine he's blue. I need to describe it. This blue semi-cartoon octopus weighing down the end of bed, just chatting with you like he does every morning. Then you got these fucking goblin-ass imps up in the wardrobe, fucking say, we're gonna pick out your eyes, kill your mom, do all that bullshit you were suggesting earlier. And this dude, the calm, wise octopus at the end of the bed's like, now you guys are gonna cut that out. No room for that here today.
No,
Just
then he
step
bailed.
back, and then slowly but surely he gets smaller and weirder, and
Yeah.
he's gone.
Yeah, he
and the
just bails.
fucking goblins are still there, and you're like, well, fuck, Mr.
Yeah, they're like,
Octopus.
gotcha.
Maybe he got fired. I don't know.
Oh my God.
It could have been a dupe. There's a lot of things that could have.
There you go.
Guardian creatures, man. What if it is really like the bureaucracy of like social services and stuff? Like you get welfare checks and stuff, but eventually you get off the radar.
Dude, he was late to work a few times. Out of here.
You late to work.
Yeah, he was
protecting
drunk on the kid's bed. He wasn't
Oh.
doing the right thing. Pissed some ink on the floor.
Yeah.
Drinking on the does it turn into like a bad lieutenant situation where the octopus just totally
Beating off on the
rails?
side of a car. Make fish mouth at me, baby.
Oh man,
Dude,
there
demerits.
you have it. Thank y'all so very much. Cryptonaut Podcast. Oh shit, we cannot. We would not be doing this without you good listeners out there and our supporters. So thank you all so very much. Holy shit, this episode like 240. How crazy is that?
Oh, it's nuts.
And then if you look at all the
Dang.
Patreon episodes we got, like, god damn, we're like, I think like I just put up like episode like 109 or
Oh,
something.
geez
like that.
Louise.
Yeah, we're up there, dude. We are
Oh
up
my
there.
gosh.
Patreon.com/Cryptonaut Podcast. $1 is the shout out and the one bonus audio. $5 is the shout out and the 4, sometimes 7 bonus audios. Get you access to the Discord.
Sure does.
Jump on there if you do. Coming up Friday, May 13th. We are watching Friday the 13th, part 1 with the good Discord folks. So jump on there. You can watch me, Rob, and Chris talk over Friday the 13th, part 1.
Well, you can watch Friday the 13th Part 1 and hear us talk over
as we
it.
talk.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mark might shit his pants again. You never know.
Somebody actually recorded that, and we have that as evidence. So we might have to put that into an episode. This is what you're missing: Mark not muting his mic and farting. So I still listen to it. Okay, that's when I need a good pick me up because it's fucking hilarious. So it's actually the file that I was sent was called alleged fart.
Wow.
.mp3. So
Dude, it was like right in the mic.
Dude,
It really was.
Like you just heard like, and we're like, everyone fucking heard it. You just walk back. I'm like, hey buddy, so you just got up, and he's like, oh yeah, Judge, you mute your mic? Oh yeah. Did you?
your reaction to me farting live on the stream is fucking hilarious. You're
I just couldn't believe
you're
it.
like, did you? Did you really? I'm like, oh no. So tune in. You never know what you'll hear me fuck up in the background there. We got merch over at hellerspace.com. Be sure to check that out. Get yourself some t-shirts and whatnot. Social medias, we're out there. We're doing it. The Instas and the Twitters and the Facebooks. We have a Facebook fan group. It is located on Facebook. If you search the Cryptonaut Podcast fan page, I think it comes up. It's a whole community there. Check that out. Thank you to everyone who helps us administer that and hold that down over there. And I think that's all of the stuff that we have at the end of the show, boys. We did it. Midnight Menagerie. Thank you, Robert. Excellent collection of stories here. Beast, super fucking creepy.
Indubitably.
And I'm going to ask my kids if they've experienced anything fucking like this.
Maybe you don't want to know.
Yeah, you know.
The stories.
They would tell me for sure.
You'd think they would have told you
100%.
already.
Yeah, they would.
Well, maybe.
Well, I'm gonna ask.
Or
Like,
you ask, and then that triggers the memory, and then you spiral into it, and you don't know,
dude.
was it real?
yeah, shit.
I mean, or you just took an interest in a story, and then it's made up on the spot.
Oh,
Because an
could
adult
be.
took an interest in you.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, I have a great interest in my kids, though. Like, I literally just, I make them tell me everything about their fucking day, if there's any drama, anything like that. A lot of drama, man, for kids. Shit.
yeah, it's always.
I mean, the
drama.
world is. I mean, there's like. I feel like there's 100% more things now than there was.
Yeah.
To deal with.
Some of the shit, I'm just like, God damn, you guys are fucking too young for this shit. Like, fucking, it's just crazy. I mean, nothing super nuts. Just some fucking like little kids got busted vaping, and they're like in like fucking my son's grade.
Yeah.
I'm like, fucking really, dude?
Yeah.
But I was 12 years old when I started smoking butts, so I can't be like shocked.
Yeah.
Like, my God, these fucking children. Like, literally,
I
a year
think.
later.
I mean,
smoking
I
butts,
dig what
so.
Chris
Yeah.
is saying. He's not wrong that there are many more kinds of distractions and little pitfalls. But
Yeah.
on the other hand, I think childhood is always more drama filled than adults want to give it credit for. People
yeah.
that
No,
look
it
back
is,
on their
but-
past and say, "Oh my God, that was a simpler time." Yeah, I get you hate your job. I get there's certain responsibilities that fucking suck, but if you really think back, unless you were totally oblivious, and God bless you if you're lucky enough to have that childhood, being a kid is fucking tough.
Yeah, it's not easy.
Yeah,
And you
no.
add fucking bedroom animals to the mix. Well, the
Dude,
fuck.
when the protector octopus doesn't show up to work because
That
he had a
one
bad
day.
lieutenant weekend, dude, that's it. And then he's gone.
He's gone.
Your mom kills the protective rhino, and they got tickle
sleep in the room.
tickle chimp coming in touching you
No,
and
I
shit.
know. I don't mean that's like it's not like it was simpler. I'm saying just the overall amount of things to choose from that will fuck you up.
Oh
That's
yeah, oh
true.
my God, 100%.
You're right.
It's tenfold.
No, the options,
Like,
Yeah,
are definitely
yeah.
on the table. And
Yeah,
they are
no,
myriad.
as a parent, yes, I'm out there every day trying to fucking keep these kids off doing dumb shit, trying to keep them alive.
That's what-
Just
that's
be like,
what a dad
guys,
does."
Don't do dumb shit. There you have it. Thank y'all so very much, and we're talking to you soon.
Was that Yahweh?
Come on, Robert, sing with us.
Soldier of Yahweh.
Now bring me
Live
a
in the
devil.
life.
I am your chain. Bring me your wings.
The army of lions.
Whoa.
Oh,
That was so heavy. That was crazy.
that's a glimpse of what happens when I call Chris.
Yeah,
Do
I know,
you guys
right?
sing at each other
We
like
have that
this?
like a whole 5-minute thing.
It
yeah.
depends. Like if he calls me, he might sing to me first.
Yeah.
Yep.
I might order pizza.
Right.
Like he might order pizza.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. Yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
I always
You
get
never know.
absurdisms from either of you when you
Yeah.
call me right out.
Yeah.
And then I'm usually like really, really smart and pithy. I'm like, yeah, it's great. What's going on?
Right. Anyway.
Because I'm not as awesome.
Oh, stop! You are. We're talking to you.
Fuck yeah.